The University of Michigan will drop grades for first semester freshmen next fall. Instead of a letter grade, first semester transcripts will show pass or no credit.
Just when you think the Gen Z coddling on college campuses can't get worse, they somehow find a way. Hey guys, welcome back to the show, your home for independent and nonpartisan commentary and analysis on news, politics, media, internet insanity, and more. And guys, I have to tell you, I know a thing or two about this subject, about campus coddling, about the kind of safe spaces and fragility ethos that has turned some, although certainly not all, young people into kind of helpless man children, or what's the equivalent of man child, but for a young woman? I don't know. But anyway, it's a very real thing. I saw it firsthand at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, where they put up Care Bears reminding people to brush their teeth and to make sure they got 6 to 8 hours of sleep a night. And I'm like, girl, we're 21 years old living in this dorm. We probably shouldn't need that reminder unless we need to be in a padded room. But colleges continue to do this kind of thing and go down this path where they really just dispense with the pretense of caring about excellence or competition or competence and just value, I don't know, students' feelings over anything else. The latest example comes courtesy of my state that I'm going to live in, Michigan, of course. So the University of Michigan, here's the headline from the Wall Street Journal. University of Michigan drops first semester grades to, quote, curb mental health crisis. A pilot program aims to ease pressure on freshmen and help them adjust to the demands of college. Yeah, tell me more about the demands of college, guys. The demands are just out of control. Yeah, okay, compared to real life. Anyway, let's watch a video from the Wall Street Journal reporting on this story.
The University of Michigan will drop grades for first semester freshmen next fall in an effort to curb what they're calling a mental health crisis. Instead of a letter grade, first semester transcripts will show pass or no credit. Professors will still assign grades internally to track eligibility for scholarships and academic awards, but they won't affect GPAs or appear on student transcripts. The university said the program is designed to help students acclimate to the demands of college. It applies to students in the College of Literature, Science, and the Arts, which accounts for roughly half of the 8,000 freshmen. Michigan isn't the first to implement this system. MIT and Caltech have similar programs. The shift comes while U.S. colleges wrestle with grade inflation and the need for remedial instruction for freshmen who aren't prepared for college-level classes. One former Michigan professor said he didn't think the policy would make much of a difference because grade inflation had made grades largely irrelevant. Students have applauded the new policy, saying that mental health is closely tied to academic stress and anxiety among students.
Sorry, not sorry. I hate everything about this. First and foremost, if the idea of having grades that count is going to send you into some sort of mental health spiral where you melt into a puddle, then you don't belong in college. You belong in a padded room getting the mental health care that you need. And I don't even say that as an insult. I just mean that truly, genuinely from the heart. And two, why is it like, if this was actually a good policy, which it obviously isn't, why is it only being done for half of the majors or so? Notice how it's not being done for students that are going to go on to different STEM fields, to pre-med students, to all these other, to business school students, because like in the more competitive areas, this wouldn't fly. Like you need to actually have these grades for graduate school, and they need to weed out people who maybe shouldn't be in these majors or can't cut it at the college level, and only in the hippie-foo-foo degrees, which again, I'm a holder of a couple of hippie-foo-foo degrees, though economics is a little bit more of a hardcore degree. I have a degree in political science and economics, and the economics required math and some other serious skills, but the political science is all just, it's all just, liberal arts in the air. Not to say there's no value in that, but it's like, really, it's kind of telling this policy is only going to apply to that. But it's just obvious as a matter of human incentives that this kind of thing will only reduce how much people try in their first semester in college. And especially when that's already very tempting to not go to class and to just party or whatever. It's like, well, there's going to be no difference as long as you pass between getting a C and getting an A. Of course, they're not going to try as hard. They're not going to study as much. That's just an obvious 1 + 1 = 2 kind of equation based on basic human incentives. And then it's also an insult and unfair to people who do work hard and do get A's that it's just not going to count. It's just not going to show up. And it's all supposedly in pursuit of helping students with their mental health or something, which obviously is an important issue, and is there should be mental health resources on college campuses for students who are struggling, right? There should be counselors at no cost. There should be hotlines. There should be, and there are, to be clear, there's lots of resources for mental health on college campuses, but we don't have to dispense with literally any form of meritocracy or grades in order to not traumatize these grown adults. Like, what? This is just ridiculous. It's just absurd. But as the reporter mentions, it's not totally unique. It's been done other places, including some places that have gotten rid of this. And the idea here is like, oh, give students the freedom to try different things. Well, early on, they're usually taking gen ed classes anyway, so I'm not sure how valuable that is. And then the idea that it would make a huge difference on student mental health, I'm also pretty skeptical of. But they actually did this at Wellesley College for a long time. And there was a 2024 study of this, I'll flash on screen, that, shocker, you're going to be really stunned by this, concluded the policy led to lower grades and declining student effort. Wow, who would have thunk? Wow, that's just the plot twist of the century. That when you make every class pass fail for the first semester, and then they do privately track the grades because of course they matter. So like for internal scholarships and purposes, it's like you want the best of both worlds there, but you're not going to get it. So then because they still track them, you can see that they fall off significantly when you have this kind of policy, which is utterly unsurprising. It is exactly what you would expect to see, and it is, in fact, what you see. And obviously, it's going to lead to lower student effort, which seems like the opposite of what you would want to encourage among young people just getting their start in college. And then it's interesting, Johns Hopkins University used to have this kind of policy, but actually scrapped it. Here's an article from 2016, a university to end covered grades in fall 2017. This is, of course, referring to Johns Hopkins. From the article, in an email to the student body, Dean of the Krieger School of Arts and Sciences and Dean of the Whitting School of Engineering explained the reason why the university is eliminating the policy. Quote, faculty members say that too often covered grades merely delay development of study skills and adaptation to college-level work. They wrote, at the same time, covered grades negatively impact students who perform well as first-semester freshmen. This is exactly the point. I mean, these young people are either going to have to cut it in college and get with the program and get it together and meet expectations or not. Giving them a 6-month safety blanket where it doesn't really count is just silly. It only delays whatever adaptation they're going to need to make. And it is deeply unfair to the students who do well and do work hard that's just not going to count to protect students who need a 6-month, safe space period. The whole thing I also find insulting as somebody who was a college freshman who got close to straight A's in college, definitely got straight A's my first year of college. The idea that I was incapable of that, even though, at that age you could sign up for the military and be sent across the world and deployed. It's like, you're actually not. And we need to stop infantilizing these young adults and stop treating them like they're so fragile, because it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you tell them that they're gentle and fragile and they need to be coddled and protected and they become used to that, they become more needing of those things. So it's very much a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's very silly. And obviously it's just one university, but I do think it makes the University of Michigan look like a joke. And then I think it's obviously emblematic of a much broader problem, right? That there is this culture in American higher education of coddling. And nobody knows that better than FIRE President Greg Lukianoff, who's a co-author of The Coddling of the American Mind. And he had an interesting take on this story as well. He wrote on X, how is this message supposed to make the younger generation mentally healthier or less depressed? All we're doing is whispering in their ears, you know what? You can't handle even the most basic challenges that generations before you handled just fine. You will crumble. You will fall. You will be permanently injured. You're so depressed and anxious now, so we need to protect your oh so fragile, constantly endangered self from anything that might give you a sense of meaning and accomplishment. It may make the protector feel virtuous, but it certainly harms the recipient. And he wrote that in response to this news that they're going to be covering these grades or having them not count in the first semester to help the mental health of students at the University of Michigan. And I think it's a really good point. This is the kind of thing that maybe some student activists demanded because they're delusional, or because I guess to them it does sound nice, right? Having no risks associated with whether you study hard or not, but is not fully thought through, is obviously going to backfire in some pretty predictable ways, just according to basic human incentives, that students will work less hard and do not develop the habits they need to succeed in college. And then I absolutely agree that it sends totally the wrong message. That they are fragile. They do need to be protected. They can't handle the same expectations every college student ever before their generation has had. Actually, I think they could probably, or at least should be able to, handle it more than ever. I mean, obviously they're not allowed or supposed to use AI to like do their work, but in terms of a research tool, in terms of double checking things and helping out, it's like they have more technology and resources at their fingertips than even I did not that long ago. I'm not that old. I'm not that busted and crusted, okay? But even like our parents' generation or what have you went through college, they didn't have the resources in terms of all the support and all the research tools and all the digital devices and everything. And somehow they managed to not collapse into a puddle because they got a B in their first semester. And it will be on their transcript forever. It's like, oh gosh, this is so ridiculous, and it's to me very deeper than just this one college and this one silly policy. It's clearly representative of a much broader issue. That's just my take on the situation and the story that's going viral, because it's the kind of thing people love to poke fun at, and I do understand why. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments below. Do make sure to subscribe to the channel if you aren't yet. Do hit the like button while you're at it, and consider becoming a channel member here on YouTube. It is the best way to support my independent commentary. I don't just call out the far left or the far right. I don't play for a team, Team Red or Team Blue. So unfortunately, that's not always the best business model. If you just pander to one side, you can get millions of subscribers and all that. I don't do that, so I do need support from viewers like you. Hit the join button or click the link in the description to sign up, and we'll leave it there for that one.